For years now, a team of 6 elemental-powered ninja alongside their master Wu have fought as a team to protect the world of Ninjago and the people living in it. The Ninja of Fire, Kai, Earth Ninja, Cole, Lightning Ninja, Jay, Water Ninja, Nia, Ice Ninja, Zane, and Lloyd, the legendary Green Ninja. These 6 overcame absolutely everything in their path to protect their home, ranging from armies of squid people, snake people, resurrected skeletons, and the embodiment of all evil himself. This was all until one fateful day. The day that changed everything. The world of Ninjago, where the ninja are from, exists as a part of a greater network of existence, the 16 Realms. Alternate worlds that operate in parallel to Ninjago that have existed for as long or longer than it, that all hold their own individual races and cultures. After millennia of being mostly separate, linked only by portals and magic, due to unknown circumstances, all 17 of these worlds smashed into each other, forming a giant combined superworld that would be known as the Merged Realms. For the people left to pick up the pieces that weren't lost within the chaos, this world-changing event would go on to be known as the Merge. It was in this event that Arin first met the ninja, legendary heroes he spent his entire life idolizing. In that brief moment, he felt some hope before the cataclysm that would change everything. And after all was said and done and the realms had merged together, Arin found himself lost, confused, and alone in this strange new world. All he had left to keep him going after everything he had lost was the mask of the Green Ninja. The ninja were missing, but not gone. After the chaos of the merge, the Green Ninja Lloyd woke up at the Monastery of Spinjitzu, the home of the ninja team. Whilst the impact of the merge made the monastery nicer than it's ever been, now teeming with plant life and a nice little pond in the center of the building, it was completely abandoned. As far as Lloyd knew, he was the only surviving member of the ninja team, until the bounty showed up of Kai on it. Unfortunately, Lloyd and Kai's short reunion was interrupted by a mergequake. Mergequakes are like aftershocks of the original merge event. Places or realms are unstable, competing for space, and for whatever reason, elemental powers can close up mergequakes. After this, the 2 remaining ninja realized that they needed help to stop the mergequakes, so Kai was sent off on the old bounty to try and find answers on how to stop them, or someone who could help the ninja with their problem. Whilst Lloyd stayed behind in this newly altered Ninjago to keep everyone safe, whilst closing up mergequakes wherever he sees them. This was Lloyd's routine for what was implied to be at least a few years. However, all of this changed when he saw what he thought was the ninja doing spinjitzu on a bridge. And after following what he thought was the ninja doing it, he met Arin, Sora, and Ryu. Arin is the ninja superfan Lloyd met on the bounty just before the chaos of the merge fully started. Sora, Arin's best friend who hails from Imperium, has recently discovered she has power over technology. A strange new elemental power introduced by the chaos of the merge. A power that right now she can only access with an energy boost from Ryu, the baby dragon that Arin and Sora have just saved from the claws of the Imperium. Lloyd meets Arin and Sora after they were imprisoned by Lord Raz, a humanoid tiger who seems to be sitting on a very high seat in Imperium's power hierarchy. Lloyd helps the 2 kids fight off the claws of Imperium, save Ryu and escape, before taking them back to the Monastery of Spinjitzu, in order to find information about where Ryu is from so they can reunite him with his family. The 3 eventually find out that Ryu is from the land of the Three Mountains. So, after Sora uses her mechanical expertise to make the new bounty able to fly, the group heads to the land of the Three Mountains to bring Ryu back to his family. Unfortunately, they're followed by the claws of the Imperium, who then start causing chaos among the mountains and try to capture as many dragons as they can. Ryu's parent, the matriarch dragon, initially distrusts the ninja because they're the same species as the claws of the Imperium. However, after connecting with the matriarch dragon in the way Sora connects with Ryu, Lloyd unleashes a massive burst of his power that completely fends off the claws of the Imperium, causing the matriarch dragon to change her mind on the ninja. After this, the ninja attempt to release Ryu back to his family, only to find out that he wants to stay in this little group. The matriarch dragon thinks it's a foolish idea to let Ryu go of the ninja, but acknowledges that if there is to be a connection between human and dragon kind, it has to start somewhere. After having doubts about it earlier on in the episode, Lloyd decides to take Arin and Sora on as students, forming an, albeit much smaller, new ninja team in the absence of the old ninja. The matriarch dragon remarks that if Ryu ever needs his family, he'll be able to find them, before migrating with the rest of the family to new lands free of Imperium control, as the ninja and Ryu return back to the Monastery of Spinjitzu to begin training. On their first day of training, the new students sneak out to the annual Crossroads Carnival for some fun.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me! We never would have done this to Master Wu! That's a lie. We totally would have.
So Lloyd follows them there. Whilst trying to find Arin and Sora at the carnival, Lloyd comes across a tent dedicated to the missing ninja, where the kids there say that Lloyd strikes him as more of a master as opposed to just being a ninja. After this, Arin and Sora end up fighting this weird showman called Dorama, who takes his stage play way too seriously. As Dorama is attempting to choke out Sora, Arin saves her and in the process discovers that he can transfer Spinjitzu to objects. Something that, as far as we know, no one has ever done before. Lloyd ends up showing up, saves his students and beats up Dorama, before leaving him tied up for the police to find. However, before the Crossroads police are able to get to him, Lord Raz intercepts and hires Dorama to join Imperium. After the ninja return to the monastery and train for a while, the old Destiny's bounty that Kai took to find the others returns. This initially excites Lloyd because it makes him think that Kai succeeded in his mission to reunite the ninja team, but he quickly discovers the bounty is burning, damaged and abandoned, telling the newly formed ninja team that something bad has happened. So they set off on the new bounty following the direction the previous one was heading in, leading them into what was formerly known as the Realm of Madness, where they find a big conflict happening between Kraglings and Earth Dragons, and quickly discover that Nia and Kai are here fighting alongside the Kraglings, whose life force is being stolen by the Earth Dragons they're fighting. Nia explains that she sent the bounty back to the monastery on autopilot to get help, and after that, the new ninja, Kai and Nia and the Kraglings all engage in a big fight against the dragons. Midway through this fight, Sora lets Nia onto her mech and flies her around for a bit as she shoots water at the Earth Dragons, before the mech fails, causing Nia and Sora to almost die from a fall. The ninja end up winning after Baby Ryu overloads the Earth Dragons with dragon energy, causing all of the energy they stole to be returned to the Kraglings. After having saved the Kingdom of Madness from the Earth Dragons, the ninja depart on the new Destiny's bounty, where midway on their journey back to the monastery, they run into the floating Cloud Kingdom, what formerly was a whole realm dedicated to predicting the future. Here the ninja get into a fight with some eldritch monsters that came out of a Mergequake hole, before beating them and sending them back into the nothing space that the Mergequake opened up. Unfortunately though, they didn't properly seal the Mergequake hole, causing it to begin opening up again. After this, the ninja realized that the Cloud Kingdom's archives could be used to find a solution to permanently stop the Mergequakes, causing Lloyd, Kai and Nia to go into the archives and look into it whilst Arin and Sora wait outside, being given that job so they can alert the ninja to come out and help them in case anything bad happens whilst they're inside. Whilst outside, Arin and Sora meet Euphrasia, the new Master of Wind, who is abrasive about being open about having elemental powers due to fears of being exiled by the other monks in Cloud Kingdom. Rejecting her elemental powers out of fear of what would happen is something Sora can find relatability in, as she's currently struggling with something similar after almost having gotten Nia killed back in the Kingdom of Madness. Meanwhile, the ninja are looking through the Cloud Kingdom archives for information on the Mergequakes before they're introduced to the worms. These little guys are like Google worms. You ask them questions and they'll bring you information based on what you asked. Nia asks the worm for all information it has on how to stop Mergequakes, causing the worm to go completely ballistic and start shooting webs everywhere, leading all of the other worms to start going ballistic as well and trap the ninja and the Cloud Kingdom monk in the archives. Meanwhile, on the outside, the Mergequake hole opens up again, despite the lead writer of the Cloud Kingdom saying it wouldn't happen again. The eldritch monsters come back out and start causing terror in Cloud Kingdom again, which causes both Euphrasia and Sora to realize they need to be using their powers for good and makes them spring into action against the monsters, whilst Arin goes into the archives to find the other ninja. Arin frees the other ninja from the cocoons, allowing them to jump into the battle and help Sora and Euphrasia. In the end, everyone combines their strengths and abilities to push the monsters back into the Mergequake hole, and then all elemental masters present combine their powers all at once to properly seal up the Mergequake this time. After this, Euphrasia expects to be exiled from the Cloud Kingdom for going against what they believe in, only to be told that she's more than welcome to stay and protect the kingdom with her new powers. After this, the ninja are left incredibly confused as to why the worms went ballistic and attacked them, and one of the Cloud Kingdom monks suggests that the worms could have been cursed to hide forbidden information. It's currently unknown who would do such a thing. After this, Nia decides that even if the worms are unavailable to the ninja, there is still valuable information in those archives they could use to stop the Mergequakes, so Nia elects to stay behind and manually go through them to find more information. After this, the ninja return to the monastery, where they continue to train and stop Imperium dragon hunting operations wherever they can. This all changes when Imperium deploys a new piece of weaponry, the Photak. This is an indestructible beast made out of hard light. No matter what the ninja throw at it, they are completely useless against it. A beast that we quickly find out is the creation of Sora while she was living in Imperium. So the ninja hatch a plan to break into the kingdom of Imperium, get into the advanced systems lab where all of Imperium's technology is designed, and permanently disable the Photak device. Kai stays behind at the monastery to protect Ninjago and seal up Mergequakes while the others are Imperium. As this storyline goes on, we learn more and more about how Sora, formerly Anna of Imperium, had her Photak design twisted into a machine of war and then left Imperium. after realizing that Imperium powers all of their technology by harming dragons by draining the very life out of them. Notably, she sees this process happen to a Ninjago dragon who the scientists called Sora, which is an ancient Imperium word that means orphan. In the present day, the three ninjas sneak into Imperium and create fake IDs for themselves. After the plan goes somewhat wrong, the team is split up into three. Lloyd goes one direction, Arin and Ryu go another, and Sora makes a beeline for the Advanced Systems Lab to shut down the monster she created. However, after making it into the Advanced Systems Lab, she's stopped by her former idol and the head of the lab, Dr. Leroux, who reveals that the job Raz hired Dorama for was getting the Photak device Sora left behind working, along with copying the device en masse. All they need now is Sora to initialize these new devices, and Imperium gets human Sora to do this by using Dragon Sora as emotional bait for her. Until the Photak devices are initialized by human Sora, Imperium will drain and torture Dragon Sora, leaving her with no choice. Whilst this is happening, Lloyd meets Wildfire. Wildfire is an elemental master who spent her childhood being raised by a dragon, which Imperium now has prisoner. Her elemental power is very easily mistaken with Kai's firepower, but Kai and Wildfire's power are two different elements, in ways that we don't entirely know yet. Lloyd and Wildfire have a quick fight before Wildfire starts to trust Lloyd, where he notes that while Wildfire is incredibly powerful, she's unskilled, and her fighting style is pretty sloppy. In this moment, Lloyd displays how well suited he is to being a teacher, because his immediate gut reaction to this observation is to offer to teach Wildfire how to fight better. After their fight is intercepted by Imperium guards and Lloyd saves Wildfire from their attacks, she realizes that Lloyd is someone she can trust and work with. After this, they both go to free Wildfire's family, Heatwave. After freeing Heatwave, Lloyd and Wildfire decide to free all of the dragons, who end up running amok on the streets of Imperium as they all try to escape. Meanwhile, Arin and Ryu run into the Imperium Team Protection Force, a group of Emperor's suck-ups who wish to one day be a part of the Claws of the Imperium led by Percival Tardigrade. After getting split up as a result of this encounter, Arin ends up back with Lloyd and Wildfire trying to escape Imperium, whilst Ryu is captured by Percival, who takes him directly to the Empress, Beatrix. Beatrix alerts Lord Raz that they have Ryu in their possession, a dragon which he particularly wanted captured as a part of his grand plan. A dragon who his attempts to capture were the thing that brought Lloyd, Arin and Sora together in the first place. So needless to say, this is pretty exciting news to Lord Raz. However, to Raz's infuriation, the Empress says she is not going through with his plan, and is instead opting to just drain the life out of Ryu. Meanwhile, after having stopped a mergequake, Kai's having some relaxation time in the monastery playing video games. This is before all of the power goes out and Kai is suddenly visited by a ghost who looks and sounds just like his master Wu, who leads him down into a secret basement he had no idea the monastery previously had, where he's greeted with a mysterious gate. He goes through this gate and walks through a long, dark, ominous corridor before meeting up with Nia, who is absolutely perplexed as to why Kai's in the Cloud Kingdom. Kai, on the other hand, is super confused as to why Nia is at the monastery, leading them both to realize that the gates they walked through are portals that have led them both to one unknown location. Meanwhile, back on the surface, Sora breaks out of the Advanced Systems Lab and regroups with Lloyd and Arin. She tells them that while things are bad, she's easily able to deactivate the Photaks using her elemental power. The only issue is the Empress is currently in possession of Ryu, so she can't get the spark to activate her powers. Lloyd and Wildfire stay to hold off the Photaks, whilst Arin and Sora go to get Ryu back. In order to lure the Empress and Lord Raz out of the room Ryu's being held in so Arin and Sora can get to him in time, Lloyd and Wildfire reposition their army of dragons from the Gate of Imperium to the Royal Palace itself, moving the big battle to being right in front of Empress Beatrix's front door. Back in the unknown location, the mysterious ghost reappears and leads Kai and Nia to a mysterious capsule. When Kai and Nia activate this device, they find out that no other than the Ice Ninja Zane has been being held in here. Zane states that he has no recollection of any events that happened after the merge event, and afterwards immediately rises up to action after seeing a distress call on the terminal next to him. He tells Kai and Nia that it is time for the Imperium Monastery to rise, as earthquakes suddenly begin to happen on the surface above, as the big battle happening outside of the Empress's palace is suddenly interrupted by the Imperium Monastery rising out of the ground. No one participating in the battle knows what to make out of this event until Kai, Nia and Zane jump out of the structure's front door, joining in the battle against the Imperium forces. Meanwhile, Arin and Sora are in the room Ryu's being held in, fighting off scientists to try and save him. This is where Sora meets Jordana, one of her fellow classmates from when she was a kid who always felt overshadowed and jealous of Sora. Jordana harbored this hatred for Sora her entire life and took her spot in the Advanced Systems Lab after Sora ditched Imperium. Sora, on the other hand, doesn't have a single clue who Jordana is, which deeply infuriates Jordana, and makes this rivalry entirely one-sided. Back outside the palace, the ninja, Wildfire and the dragons fight the Photaks, before realizing that as it stands right now, this is an unwinnable fight. So, as opposed to continuing to fight, Lloyd decides that the best course of action is to buy time for Arin and Sora. So, all of the heroes run into the Imperium Monastery and close the door, rendering the Photax for the time being unable to get the ninja. In this monastery, Nia notes that the portal Kai and Nia used to get into this building could probably be used to safely extract the dragons from Imperium. But the ninja will need a pretty big source of power in order to activate the portal gate for long enough to get all the dragons out, leading Zane to scan the area for energy sources, leading him to notice an absolutely gargantuan source of power unlike anything he's ever seen before right beneath their feet. Lloyd and Zane find a passage downwards to get there and take it. Meanwhile, where Ryu's being held, right as Arin and Sora are about to free the little dragon, Raz shows up, leading Arin and Sora to get into a 2v1 with Lord Raz, which Raz is winning for a while until he accidentally breaks the cage Ryu is in, causing him to power up Sora and use her elemental powers to trap Lord Raz, allowing the three to escape. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Zane have found the source of the energy, a gigantic sphere containing an inconceivably large dragon, situated deep underneath the Imperium Palace. When Lloyd and Zane try to open the mystical cage this being is being held in, a telepathic voice reaches out to them and tells them not to free him. This is a Source Dragon, an inconceivably old and incomprehensibly powerful being that predates most everything in existence, possibly even being the backbone of the universe itself. This being urges Lloyd and Zane not to free him from his imprisonment, as Imperium imprisoning him in the first place damaged the very cosmos, and freeing him could destabilize the world. Lloyd mentions that even if they can't free the Source Dragon, they still need enough power to fuel the gate to save the other dragons, to which the Source Dragon makes Lloyd an offer: become a conduit, and receive a chunk of the Source Dragon's power. A process that will absolutely give him the power to open the gate, but one that even the Source Dragon warns Lloyd could change his life forever. Lloyd, however, agrees, because regardless of what risk happens to him, those dragons need his help. A part of the cage is temporarily removed and Lloyd establishes a connection with the Source Dragon, causing him to spiral into a hallucinogenic world in his own mind, where he sees 6 symbols that represent 6 out of the 7 Source Dragons. After this, the ground shatters beneath him and Lloyd falls an inconceivable height, landing him in a long-abandoned battlefield-stroke-graveyard, full of discarded weapons, ninja masks, and a sea of gravestones. Before Lloyd can even get the chance to wonder what's happened here, he sees the silhouette of a Source Dragon rise up on the horizon, illuminated by a golden moon behind it. Within seconds, Lloyd is bathed in golden, blinding light. And right as it looks like the ninja are doomed on the surface, Lloyd bursts out from the ground below, covered in green light, uses the powers gifted to him by the Source Dragon to open up the portal home, allowing wildfire and every dragon imprisoned by Imperium to escape. Right as this happens, the Imperium forces finally knock down the door to the monastery. And just when it looks like there's no chance of the ninja escaping here, Arin, Sora, and Ryu show up and deactivate the Photax, completing the mission that brought them to Imperium and allowing everyone to escape through the portal door. Lloyd wakes up in his bedroom in the Monastery of Spinjitzu. His sword is neatly positioned on the sword rack next to him, cozy yellow sunlight is shining through his window. Things are good and peaceful. Lloyd spends a few seconds confused and terrified before realizing this himself, and then goes outside to see what the others are up to. Sora still has doubts about her powers, but realizes that she has the responsibility to use them and is training to do that. Wildfire and the now freed dragons from Imperium are now staying in the monastery's dragon stables. Everyone is doing okay, if a bit concerned about Lloyd's visions, all except for Arin, who assumes that now Lloyd has a good chunk of the original ninja team back, he doesn't need him anymore. Lloyd reassures Arin that this isn't the case, and that even despite most of his original team being back, Arin has the potential to be one of the greatest ninjas to ever live. And that even despite him being upset that his parents disappeared in the merge, he can take comfort in the fact that he's found new family through the ninja. Things are gonna be okay. Meanwhile, the Empress doesn't seem to think so. Raz tries to remind her that they need to hunt more dragons now that they've lost their entire supply of them, but Beatrix does not want to hear it. Her only intention now is revenge on the ninja. For their humiliation of her, she wants all of these guys wiped off the planet. And when Raz tells her she's losing sight of the bigger picture after she says this, she betrays Lord Raz and has him locked up in the prison cells of Imperium. She does not want to hear any of Raz's advice. Beatrix completely doubles down on her insane, narcissistic decision here. Imperium will be going to war with the ninja. After this, for a little while, the ninja's routine just became stopping merge quakes again. Except that now, the team has a lot more numbers, and also have the help of the dragons they freed from Imperium, until Zane brings up some bad news. He's noticed that not only the frequency of the merge quakes has been getting higher, but also the severity of them has. At this rate, the world is eventually going to be consumed by incredibly powerful merge quakes. completely annihilating it and every being living in it. When all hope seems lost, Nia remembers her research in the Cloud Kingdom. She notices a certain point on the map Zane brought up in the monastery that looks just like the location of a temple in our research. One that is somehow tied to an ancient event called the Coalescence. With the team figuring a coalescence and a merge are the same thing, they set off to find this temple, hoping to find answers on how to stabilize the world. The ninja later arrive at the Temple of the Dragon Cores, where the spirit of the temple tells the ninja the story of the 3 Dragon Cores, where the creator of Ninjago, along with some of the other realms, the first Spinjitzu master, foresaw an event where all of the realms would merge together, and forged 3 energy cores using Source Dragon energy to prevent this from happening. Before the merge event happened, Master Wu hoped to rediscover the 3 Dragon Cores to prevent it yet again. But due to unknown circumstances, the merge happened earlier than expected this time. The ninja asked for the locations of these Dragon Cores, because whilst the actual merge is irreversible now, at the very least the ninja can use this method to stabilize the new world. So after having received the locations of the Dragon Cores, and the leader of the Claws of the Empyrean, Rapton, having also seen the locations of these cores, the ninja split up into 3 separate groups to find them. Nia, Sora and Ryu, Arin and Lloyd, and Kai and Wildfire. Lloyd and Arin take the bounty to get to their Dragon Core, and on the way to the location they were given, they try to practice Arin's object spinjitzu from his fight with Dorama. After thinking back to how he felt the last time he activated that power, he tapped into it again, with the unfortunate consequence of messing up the engine of the bounty in the process, leading Lloyd and Arin to have to liberate a village from a Melopian gang, which is being led by a giant crab in order to be able to repair their ship. Interestingly, this big giant crab only has the powers and size it does because someone seems to have placed some kind of cursed tooth into its mouth. A circumstance which is suspiciously similar to the worm incident from the Cloud Kingdom. After dealing with this threat, Lloyd and Arin continue heading towards their core. Zane and the new assistant keeper of the monastery, Mr. Frohickey, head to the Ninjago City area and enter the Zane Day competition, a celebration held in dedication to Zane, who the people of Ninjago think is still missing. Through a combination of Zane just being rusty from having been deactivated for multiple years, and hilarious bad luck, Zane loses the competition where he has to imitate himself, meaning he won't get the cash prize he needs to get a part he requires in order to investigate the portal gate beneath the monastery. Fortunately, however, the 3rd place prize for the contest is a gift card to Creel's junkyard, meaning he'll still be able to get the part required to continue his investigation. The Dragon Core Kai and Wildfire were sent to obtain is situated within Wildfire's home realm, the Wildness, being held under the protection of the Lava Tides, a race of tiny rock people who can shoot fire out of their heads. On account of not only the fact that the Lava Tides don't like Wildfire in the slightest, after she spent years barraging them with a bunch of mean-spirited pranks, but also due to Dorama and a group of Imperium soldiers pulling up to get that Dragon Core, Kai and Wildfire end up having major difficulties trying to get it. Eventually though, they finally get their Dragon Core and escape on Heatwave, who's injured in the battle. Kai thankfully knows how to heal Heatwave, but during the healing process, Wildfire is incredibly worried for her parents. So Kai runs Wildfire through some meditation techniques to help calm her down whilst Heatwave is healing. Meanwhile, after Nia and Sora's initial use of Djinn artifacts to try and find their Dragon Core goes wrong, setting howlers upon them, the 2 ninja meet the last surviving member of the Djinn race of Ninjago, Arrakore the Djinn, who as it turns out used to travel with Dragon Sora, whose real name is actually Xanth. After Nia and Sora help Arrakore find his hope and optimism again after his home was destroyed, which also in turn helps Sora find her optimism again after everything that's went wrong in her life, Arrakore helps the ninja fight off the Howlers trying to destroy them. And after that's sorted, uses his Djinn wish magic to give Nia a compass that will lead them to the Dragon Core. No sketchy Djinn artifacts required. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Arin go to the Mother Garden, who pretty easily get the Dragon Core after mentioning the spirit of the temple sent them, before the Dragon Core gets stolen from them by Rapton, which is then stolen from Rapton by agents working for the administration. The agents open up a portal back to the administration, which Lloyd and Arin follow them through. The Djinn compass given to Nia by Arrakore leads Nia and Sora to the Land of Lost Things, a place situated in the same realm the Kingdom of Imperium was before the merge, where discarded items and abandoned people have a tendency to end up in. This is where Nia and Sora reunite with Cole, the ninja of Earth. Since the chaos of the merge, Cole has been spending his time in the Land of Lost Things, with a group of other lost people called the Finders. However, the Finders have been experiencing constant bombardment by a technological monster called the Hoarder, a beast whose name should be pretty self-explanatory. Here, we meet Geo, a fusion between Monts and Gekko species, who after the merge gained the elemental power of fusion, a strange ability that allows him to combine any 2 objects into one. This leads Cole and Nia to speculate about how the merge must have led to an increase of elemental energy in the world, causing all of these weird new elemental powers like technology and fusion to pop up. Cole then talks about how him and Geo combined their powers of Earth and fusion to allow Cole to enter this new stone golem form. The only thing protecting the home of the Finders from the Hoarder is a machine in their basement, which is powered by a dragon energy core. Unfortunately, Dr. LaRose shows up and steals this core, leaving the Finders completely vulnerable to the Hoarder, which Sora quickly realizes is actually an Imperium sweeper, a discarded robot that was intended to clean up Imperium sewers and hoard trash. Sora uses her tech powers to pull the monster into pieces and safely contain the sweeper. After this, Geo reveals to Cole that his fusion powers had nothing to do with the stone golem form, and the power to activate that form was within Cole the entire time. Cole is then presented with the same Master Wu Ghost that led Kai and Nia to Imperium, so he leaves the Finders for the time being to go and follow it. Nia and Sora, on the other hand, head towards Imperium on their dragons to get the core that was stolen back. Lloyd and Arin come out of the other side of the portal into the administration, a weird, gigantic 9-to-5 office hell dictated by mountains upon mountains of meaningless bureaucracy. Here they find that Zane has been detained by the administration for failing to activate the portal too many times, so Zane groups up with Lloyd and Arin and they steal back the Dragon Core. We also find out that the administration is where Jay has been spending his days ever since the merge, working as a manager of the realm reassignment department of the place. As to why Jay's working here and hasn't seeked out the original ninja, that's still a mystery to us. Before returning to the Monastery of Spinjitzu, Kai and Wildfire find out that the core they supposedly got from the Wildness was a fake, crafted by Dorama so we can steal the real one without anyone noticing. This leaves Imperium with 2 of the cores and the ninja with only 1, the one Lloyd and Arin got, causing Lloyd, Kai, Zane, Wildfire and Arin to head to the same place Sora and Nia are, back to Imperium, where things don't seem to be going too well. The Empress's grand plan to wipe the ninja off the map is to use the Dragon Cores to make a Mergequake gun that can wipe anything she shoots completely out of existence into nothing space. Beatrix initially believes that she has all 3 of the Dragon Cores due to the fake one Rapton delivered. When the Empress tries to use the Mergequake gun with this fake core added in, it causes a giant explosion to happen, which after the chaos is set in, Rapton has taken off. During this chaos, the ninja get through the Imperium security barriers by using an unconscious guard's touch ID. After this, we flash back to Empress Beatrix's past, where we discover that Beatrix and Lord Raz conspired together to have the previous leader of Imperium, Emperor Levo, murdered. Emperor Levo had 2 daughters, Zeatrix, the master of a currently unknown element, and Beatrix, the current leader of Imperium. Emperor Levo gave all of his attention to Zeatrix because she had elemental powers, leaving Beatrix borderline neglected by her father, next in line for absolutely nothing. So, her and Raz conspired together to have Levo killed and Zeatrix taken out of the picture so she can be the next in line for Imperium power. It is currently unknown what happened to Zeatrix after this. After we find this out, Beatrix briefly considers letting Raz out of his cage so he can get a handle on the situation. But Raz delivers a devastating blow to Beatrix's ego as he tells her the truth. Beatrix needs Raz. She is absolutely nothing without his help. Raz then urges Beatrix to let him go so we can get a handle on the situation and continue back with his original plan. However, seeing as Beatrix's pride is so damaged by this interaction, she says no and leaves him in his cell. Meanwhile, the ninja have breached Imperium. And just as they're about to have a massive fight with a bunch of the guards, the Imperium Teen Protection Force saves them. This group of suck-ups no longer now goes by the name Imperium Teen Resistance Force. As whilst the ninja were off getting the Dragon Cores, the group realized that the Empress was lying to them, when she claimed that no dragons had escaped Imperium, despite them having seen this happen with their very eyes. Meanwhile, after having gotten herself together after the gun exploded, the Empress opts to have the power that would have been supplied by the 3rd Dragon Core replaced with pure Source Dragon energy from the dragon they have captured in their basement. Dr. LaRose refuses to carry out this process because of the damage it could do to the world, but Jordana quickly steps up and says she will handle draining the Source Dragon. Whilst the Resistance Force is taking the ninja to their secret base, they're intercepted by Beatrix herself, in a giant battle mech that's impervious to elemental powers. The fact that her battle mech is impervious to elemental powers outright tells us that she's been pretty concerned about elemental masters opposing her rule for a while now. They have a brief fight as Beatrix projects all of her built-up resentment and hatred for her sister onto the ninja.
Think your powers make you so superior?
Huh? We don't think we're better than anyone because of our powers.
Before Nia and Sora destroy the electro barrier surrounding Imperium on their dragons, allowing them to join the battle against the Empress. Nia and Sora's dragons, Xanth and Jiro, are able to distract the Empress long enough for the ninja to be able to temporarily escape and head to the Resistance Force's base, where they formulate a plan to take down the Empress. The Resistance has acquired footage of the Empress admitting to all of her crimes, which they plan to hack into the broadcast tower and show to everyone in Imperium, with help from a high-ranking insider. Lloyd, Nia, and Zane are set to be sent to the Advanced Systems Lab, in order to reclaim their 2 missing Dragon Cores and stabilize the world. During all of this, Kai and Wildfire are told to go to the Imperium Armory, and told to use their elemental fire powers to blow the building up, in order to provide enough of a distraction to the Imperium guards for the other ninja to carry out their plans. In this base, we also see the remains of Zane's cocoon from the second monastery, where we find out that after the ninja used the structure to escape Imperium had the building and the portal gate within it torn apart, which is why Zane could never interface with the portal again, and why Nia and Sora found remnants of it in the Land of Lost Things. After the plan is set, the ninja split up and head out. Upon arriving at the broadcast tower, Arin and Sora discover that Rapton was the inside man who's gonna get them into the broadcast. After failing to get the Dragon Core, Rapton realized that he couldn't stand the Empress. She'd completely lost sight of the thing Rapton actually enjoyed doing, which was hunting dragons, and is now fully intent on destroying the world to get revenge on the ninja. Which led Rapton to realize that he enjoys being alive and doesn't want the world to be annihilated, causing him to turn on the Empress. However, things take a turn for the worse when Dorama shows up, revealing that he followed Rapton here, stating that he views the Empress's lies as a form of stage play and storytelling, which is why he likes her so much. Before Dorama can do any meaningful damage to the plan though, Ryu quickly beats him up. On their way to the palace, Lloyd, Nia and Zane are ambushed by the Empress, who defeated the dragons that were meant to distract her and locked them back up to be drained again. Right before the Empress can really do any meaningful damage to the ninja, a broadcast begins, showing evidence that the Empress's rule was built solely on lies and murder, showing proof that everything she said about dragon energy being safe and clean was a complete lie. Proof that she views her citizens as disposable vermin to be exploited, the same way that she does the dragons. And after that, Sora issues a personal message to all of Imperium, one seen by the Empress, the Advanced Systems Lab, Sora's parents, everyone, where she tells everyone that tonight they are all dragons, and rallies every resident of Imperium to stand against the Empress. At this moment, the Empress's hold on her citizens is permanently destroyed. Everyone turns on her, and her guard is now completely useless because Kai and Wildfire have destroyed the armory. Her rule is complete toast. Her reign as Empress is over. But then she gets a call from the Advanced Systems Lab, telling her that the Source Dragon draining was a success and her Mergequake gun is ready. She claims the weapon, and with absolutely nothing left to lose, she goes berserk, firing it everywhere, fully intent to drag down the now reformed Imperium with her. Beatrix has completely flown off the deep end and starts firing on her own civilian, slowly sending each ninja one by one into nothing space using Mergequakes, leaving only Nia, Zane, Lloyd, Arin and Sora left in the actual world. And since Ryu is gone, Sora can't rely on him to access her elemental powers anymore. The Empress points her Mergequake gun at Sora, and right before she's able to fire it, Arin finally realizes the key to transferring Spinjitzu to an object. It's a move he's only able to do when he's under distressed emotions. And his use of this move leads a giant hole directly in the center of the Empress's mech, leaving it considerably weaker than it was before. After Sora reunites with her parents and realizes that nothing she's done over the course of the storyline, or any of the evidence presented against the Empress, has changed her parents' minds on the Empress or Sora, Sora realizes that no amount of work she ever does will make them change their mind on her. So, she lets go of the subconscious need that she has within her to prove herself to her parents, that she's been carrying on her shoulders her entire life. Much like Arin, Sora has a new family now in the ninja, and doesn't need to waste her time on people who have no interest in her well-being. After realizing this, and seeing Arin and Lloyd endangered by the Empress's Mergequake gun, Sora unlocks her true potential. A state of elemental power in which the weight stopping an elemental master from using their powers before is lifted, allowing them free access to their potential. Sora uses this newfound burst of elemental power to tear apart the Empress's Mergequake gun. And with the Empress now being left completely defenseless, Arin uses Spinjitzu to knock her into the void. The Empress has not been seen since. Unfortunately though, the Empress has pushed the world past the tipping point, and the world-ending Mergequake storm has now already begun. So the ninja grab the 2 Dragon Cores the Empress dropped and rush down to the crossroads, and start saving civilians whilst they wait for Mr. Frohickey to show up with the final Dragon Core, who is delivering it to the crossroads from the monastery. Whilst waiting, the ninja save civilians from being consumed by Mergequakes, where Arin gets a brief look at his missing parents, who have been trapped within nothing space since the merge. Arin and his parents are only able to see each other for a few seconds, but Arin's parents are able to see that Arin fulfilled his childhood dream of becoming a ninja, and are briefly seen proudly smiling at their son, before the hole in existence Arin seeing them through closes up again. Once Mr. Frohickey arrives and the ninja have united all 3 of the Dragon Cores, The ninja pieced together that because Lloyd is a conduit for Source Dragon power now, he can channel the energy within the cores to stop this. At first, Lloyd is too overwhelmed by all of the chaos to be able to channel the power, before Sora tells Lloyd to follow his own advice and try and find the calm within him. Which he does, taking him back to the hallucinogenic Source Dragon vision world, where interestingly there are 7 Source Dragon symbols this time, as opposed to the 6 we saw in Lloyd's first vision. Lloyd channels this Source Dragon energy before his eyes glow a bright green and he's back in reality. He rises up surrounded by a tornado with the 3 dragon energy cores as he finally stabilizes the world. When Lloyd comes to, things are stable. Notably, before Lloyd stabilized things, the world had 2 moons, a white one and a red one. The red moon has now went completely missing. But that's not important. The ninja have won and saved the world. And all of the people lost to Empress Beatrix's mergequakes come back, including Kai, Wildfire, and Ryu. The ninja have a happy reunion and celebrate their victory, as the civilians of Ninjago also celebrate that their heroes are finally back. Before Lloyd decides what's now going to be done with the dragon energy cores, Lloyd and Ryu take the dragon cores back to the Source Dragon. The Source Dragon once again objects to being freed due to the dangers before Lloyd mentions the cores. Seeing that they were used to stabilize the mergequakes, Lloyd thinks they can be used to stabilize its release. As the Source Dragon ponders this sacrifice of power, it notes that Ryu is, in its own words, a very special creature, and explains that all elemental powers come from Source Dragons, explaining why they were able to patch up mergequakes so well, and asks Lloyd why he wants to sacrifice this power to help him, to which Lloyd simply replies by saying it's the right thing to do, spurring the Source Dragon to say perhaps he was right about you. With that, the Source Dragon thanks Lloyd and accepts the sacrifice of the power contained within the Dragon Cores, leaving Lloyd with the parting sentiment that he hopes to meet him again before the end of this cycle, allowing it to be freed from Imperium's imprisonment. And with that, for the time being, the ninja's work is done here. The Empress is defeated, Imperium has been liberated, Sora has unlocked her full potential, and the Source Dragon beneath it freed. For now, the ninja have an opportunity to relax and celebrate their hard fought for victory. Sora ruminates on how far she's come since the start of the season, and says that she's gonna commit to fully mastering her elemental powers. Arin initially beats himself up for his object spinjitzu power only being useful when he's in distress, before Lloyd reassures him and tells him not to fight how he feels, instead telling him to channel it to something positive. Kai and Wildfire play a game of target practice with their elemental powers, where Kai notes that the targets he hit burned to ash whilst Wildfire's melted, meaning that in some way their elemental powers are different. Other members of their team like Master Wu and Jay still need to be found. Lord Raz is still out there somewhere, but for now, the ninja are able to relax for a moment. Lord Raz is still out there somewhere. During the chaos of the battle between the ninja and the Empress, Raz escaped his cell. And just as Jordana was getting ready to permanently take off after realizing her life in Imperium was ruined, Raz intercepted her, telling her that the Empress was just a pawn of his in a greater scheme, and that out of everyone within the Kingdom of Imperium, she is the only one who has shown real ability to aid his master's plans. His true master. Jordana reveals that she has kept a tiny fragment of Source Dragon energy left in her possession, which Raz is delighted to see. Just that will help expedite Raz's plans greatly. Raz makes Jordana an offer to come with him and help aid his master's plans, telling her that doing this will make her finally become better than Sora. With nothing left in Imperium, Jordana agrees and goes with Lord Raz. One of the lead writers of Dragons Rising's first season, Kevin Burke, has said that the theme of this season was change. How it impacts people, the world, and how they react to that change. This theme can be seen everywhere across this season of Dragons Rising. From the contrast between how the changes brought about by the merge ruined Arin's life, whilst comparatively saving Sora from a situation in Imperium, to how Euphrasia reacts to the change of having elemental powers, Lloyd reacts to the change of becoming a teacher, and so much more. Season 1 of Dragons Rising was an absolutely great Ninjago story in my opinion, and I'm incredibly excited for its follow-up story in Season 2. Thank you so much for watching this absolute doozy of a video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.